Tyco shares are climbing today after the conglomerate said it will break up into three separate companies. ADT's North American Residential Securities, a flow control business that is the world's biggest maker of industrial valves, and then you've got the world's biggest commercial security and fire systems. That's the three businesses. Analyst Ajay Kejriwal of FBR Capital Markets has made some of the best calls when it comes to Tyco, and he joins us here on Street Smart. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So, Ajay, Tyco breaking up into three companies. We've been here before with this company. Does it make sense, and does it make sense that it's happening so quickly?
Absolutely. So, yes, there is an element of deja vu. We saw a breakup in 2006-07 where the original conglomerate broke up into three companies, and the track record there has been that those three companies have delivered shareholder value. And fast forward to this year, earlier this year, you had a situation where it was a much better company, but the valuation was at a discount to sum of parts. And the shareholders or investors were not recognizing the underlying value in the individual pieces within Tyco. And we think today's announcement is a step in that direction in unlocking value, especially in the ADT business.
Is it also a step in finding buyers for these individual pieces? Do you think that that's going to be the next step after, if everything goes through as expected, if we get the spin-offs, do you expect and then we'll see some buyers for these three components?
Absolutely. I think there should be interest in their security business and in their flow business. If you look at some of the deal multiples that have been out there, we saw a couple deals earlier this year, both from private equity and strategic investors at very high multiples. So, and that tells you about the level of interest in the security space. And I would not be surprised to see similar interest in that security piece of Tyco when it becomes a standalone company.
Can you talk about who you think the buyers might be, and also what a flow control company does?
Yes, so the buyers in security, earlier this year we saw Stanley Works acquiring a monitoring business. We saw private equity interest. So when you think about the characteristics of the ADT security business, it is recession resilient, and it throws gazillion of cash. So we think those are very attractive characteristics, and we think there will be a lot of investors, both private equity and strategic, would want to buy this company. Now, to your question on flow, yes.
They make valves, right?
Yes, exactly.
Come on, Matt, you should know that.
They are the world's largest maker of valves. They control the movement of fluids.
Got it. Just because there's also data processing flow control, which is obviously similar in concept, but with digital things rather than liquids.
Yes, that's a good analogy.
Hey, I'm just curious about the stock. I mean, on the news, out of the gate, it was rallying big time, up about 5.7% at its highs. Right now, Ajay, it's up about 3%. So it's kind of moved around. I mean, some of the things I've been reading said, if investors really, really love this stock would be flying high, much more than we're seeing today. Do you agree with that assessment, or do you think investors are right in terms of their perception about this?
Yeah, I think there are a couple things going on here. One, there's that what next phenomena, meaning you've already had this catalyst, announcement, and the spin is not going to take place, until, say, 12 months from now. So what are the next catalysts? So there's an element of that. And then it is also that there was some concern around the cash taxes and the difference between the book rate and the cash taxes. We don't think that's an issue, but there was something that was on investors' minds.
One last question. You got Tyco selling at about 45 and change today. Breakup value, what would you put it? I've seen it as high as about $70 a share. Where do you put it?
So our sum of parts is in the $52 to $58 range. We are conservative, and that value has come down from the levels we had back in March, but then it's based on public company comps, and those comps, as we all know, have traded down. So we have them in that $52 plus range, but we are very conservative.
Got it. Okay, good to know. Ajay, thank you so much for weighing in on the Tyco news today. Ajay Kejriwal of FBR Capital Markets. He's one of the analysts who's made some really great calls when it comes to Tyco. Thanks.
Thank you.